Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, my name is Veronica, known as Data Geek. So do you want to run real SQL queries directly inside Python? You don't need a server, you don't need PostgreSQL, just Pandas, SQLite, and you're ready to go. So in this video, I'll show you how to create a simple local database. We will run some SQL queries and visualize the results. This is perfect for data analysts and beginners. Right now, I'm inside Jupyter Notebook, which is one of the most popular tools for data analysis and coding with Python. So if you're new to this and wondering how to get started, I personally use Anaconda Navigator to launch Jupyter Notebook. It's beginner friendly, completely free, and comes bundled with lots of useful tools for data science, such as like Jupyter Lab, VS Code, and even access to virtual environments. And I've actually made a full video showing how to install Anaconda Navigator step by step. So if you haven't set it up yet, I'll link that video in the description below to help you get started. So step 1, we're going to create a SQLite database. Step 2, we're going to insert sample data. And step 3, we're going to query with SQL and load with Pandas, which is the Pandas library for Python. And then number 4, we're going to group and visualize the data. And for good practice, of course, we will close the connection. And we will do this all less than 10 minutes. So let's get started. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and zoom in so you can see the code a lot better. And now in step 1, the first thing we want to do is import our library. So it's going to be import SQLite, so it's SQLite 3. So this will help us to create the local database. So first thing is CONN, short for connect, equals SQLite lite3 dot connect. Open parentheses, and now here is what we're going to call our database. So whatever you want to name your database is up to you. But for this tutorial, we're going to call this sales.db. So this is our sales database. And then we're going to do cursor equals CONN dot, and then cursor, CURSOR, open and close parentheses. So this part creates our sales database, and then next we're going to create a sample sales table. So this will be inside our database. So it's going to be cursor dot execute, open parentheses. Now here we're going to do a single quotation 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and then now we can start writing up some SQL code. It's going to be create table, because we're creating this table, if not exists. And we're going to call this sales underscore data. That's our table name. And then open parentheses. Now we're going to go ahead and start creating our table column names. So our column, our first one, we want it to be ID column. And it's going to be an integer, which is the data type. And this will be a primary key. And then comma. Now enter, going to the next line. So we're going to do another column called date. And this is going to be, the data type is going to be a text and comma. Next column is going to be product, data type text, comma. And then quantity. And this data type is going to be an integer and comma. Now our last column is going to be price, and we're going to do a real. So no comma on our last one. Instead, we're going to close that parentheses. Then we're going to close the single quotations 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and then to close that other parentheses. Then lastly, we're going to connect, CONN dot commit, COMMIT, open and close parentheses. So now your code should be good to go. And I'm going to run this. As you can see, we got a number here, so it ran successfully. So we just created a table called sales data with basic sales information. So ID, date, product, quantity, and price. So no server needed. So now in step 2, we're going to insert some sample data. So right now we have just the table with columns, but no data in it. So now let's add some fake data to simulate a sales report. So it's going to be sample underscore data equals open bracket, and now open parentheses, single quotation. Now this is where you enter your data. So now up here, we're going to go ahead and start with the date column. So we're going to enter the date. Then next we'll enter the product, quantity, and price. So for the date, we're going to do 2024-06-01, single quotation. So year, month, and day, comma. Now the next column, do you remember what it was? It was product. So we're going to go ahead and enter product, laptop, single quotation, comma. So you can see each statement is separated with the comma. And then now the quantity, we'll say it's 3. And then now the price. So the price is going to be $899.99. Now close that and comma. Now we're going to do the same thing again. Now I'm going to do this 3 more times. All right, so next we're going to go ahead and close that bracket that we created up here at the beginning after sample data equals. So close that bracket. I'm going to enter to go down. So this is the sample data we want to enter into our table. So we'll do cursor dot execute many, open parentheses, and then again single quotations 3 times, 1, 2, 3. So as you can see, every time we use a SQL code, we open that up. So now we're going to do insert into our sales underscore data, open parentheses, and we want it to go under this order, date column, product column, quantity column, and our price column. And then now values. We want to hold these values with some question marks 4 times. So question mark, comma, 2 more times, comma, and then close parentheses. And then again, we're going to close that single quotation, then comma, and sample underscore data, and then close that parentheses. Next, we're going to do a connect, CONN dot commit, open and close parentheses. So now we're using execute many, which is here, to insert multiple rows at one time. So this will be our test data for SQL queries. So we'll go ahead and run this. And it gave us a number, so it ran successfully. So now in step 3, we're going to query with SQL and load with pandas. So of course, we're going to use pandas library. So we're going to import pandas as PD. And then we're going to run a basic SQL query, which is the select query. So query equals double quotation. Now here is where we're going to do our SQL query select all, which is our little asterisk sign, but it's select all from our table, which is our sales underscore data. So that's our table name, where quantity is greater than 2, semicolon, double quotation. So next row is going to be a df equals and pd dot read. So if you're familiar with this, you will see that this is pandas. And pandas will allow us to read the SQL. Read underscore SQL, open parentheses, query, QUERY, comma, CONN, close parentheses. Now we want to print that df. So we're printing this, so it's reading the SQL code. So now we're going to go ahead and run. And ta-da, here it is. We are viewing the table we just created. So you can see there's the ID number, date, product, quantity, and price. So those are the first, we created the column names, right? And then we inserted the data. So that's where it's showing us there. So now in step 4, we're going to go ahead and start grouping and visualizing. First thing we do is write summary underscore query equals, and then again, 3 single quotations, and guess what we're going to start typing? Some SQL. Select our column name product, comma, and then we want to sum, S-U-M, open parentheses, the quantity, Q-U-A-N-T-I-T-Y, close parentheses. So we want to sum up that quantity as total underscore quantity. And we want to pull this from our sales underscore data table. And then we want to group by our column name product. So now we're done with that SQL. So now we're going to go ahead and close it with the single quotations. Summary underscore DF, so SUMMARY underscore DF equals, and then we're going to use our pandas PD dot read underscore SQL, open parentheses, and we want it a summary underscore query, comma, CONN to connect. Now we want to visualize our data. So we're going to go ahead and import Matplotlib, which will allow us to visualize our data. So import Matplotlib dot pyplot as plt. So that's the library we need. And then we're going to do a summary underscore df, which will pull in our SQL. So again, we grouped our data. We're using pandas, which is pd.read SQL. So it's going to read this SQL, and we packaged it into this summary df. So it's going to do a summary df into our visual, and we're going to plot it. And then the kind that we want of graph equals a bar chart. So it's going to just be bar, comma, single quotation, comma. Then our x-axis, we want it to be our product column. Make sure that's spelled right, PRODUCTS. And then our y-axis, we want it to be that total quantity that we created up here, which is grabbing the quantity column, and then we want it to be summing up as a total quantity. So total underscore quantity, single quotation, comma. Now our title for our visual is going to be called, let's call this total sales by product, single quotation, close parentheses. And then now we want to plot a tight layout, underscore layout, open and close parentheses. And now we want to show our plot. So plt.show, open and close parentheses. So as you can see, in just a few lines, we grouped our data using our group by SQL query. And then we are going to use pandas right here. This line of code is using pandas to grab that SQL. And then we used Matplotlib to visualize this data. So we're going to go ahead and run it. Gave us a number, so it ran successfully. So let's see what it looks like. So if I just kind of zoom out here, you can see now we have total sales by product, total quantity. So it shows keyboard is the highest and tablet is the second. Looks like laptop's the third, and then the lowest is monitors. So now we are all done. Now for good practice, we want to close our connection, which we use the CONN.close, and then make sure you just do the open and close parentheses and then run that. So you just close your connection to SQLite. So that is it. You just connected SQLite to Python, you ran SQL queries, and you visualized your data, all without needing any server setup. So download the code and the sample data using the link in the description below. And again, if this video is helpful for you, please consider subscribing, like this video, and stay tuned for more Python and SQL tutorials. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you on the next video.